Dave knows how.
Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to set up the end that's going to be down at the bucket area for when we hook up a 4-in-1 bucket or a grapple or something like that. And normally what you do is you mount these quick connects out there and you mount them to a thing that I can't think of the name of it. Oh boy, a bulkhead. So this mounts to a bulkhead type fitting, which allows you to fasten this to a bracket that holds it stationary so the hoses aren't flopping around, and then you connect your hoses from whatever you put on the front of the tractor into these two fittings. Instead of getting a bulkhead adapter for these, I decided to go with this little device right here and use it as two things. The bulkhead, take the place of the bulkhead. So these quick connects will screw right into here, and this has two holes that I can mount this down with. And then the inlet side of the hydraulic fluid will go into these two ports, and we're going to put these two fittings in there. Now the fittings that go in here are SEA fittings that have O-rings. They're O-ring style fittings. They screw down in there. It's what you call a reusable type system because you can unscrew this out. It doesn't mess up the threads or anything like this. Supposedly this swivel end right here connects to a 3/8 pipe thread. That's supposed to be what they sent me. We're about to find out. Now, what this block does is this is a double piloted locking valve. And what this is used for is to keep, it's to hold whatever this cylinder is controlling at a certain point. So if, for example, you're using a 4-in-1 bucket and you clamp down on a piece of wood, a log or something, and you're driving on across your property, and then you notice all of a sudden it's not holding as tight and the piece of wood falls out. This right here keeps that thing from coming loose. It holds it in position so that the hydraulic fluid can't leak back and get loose. Okay, so that's what this is for. You see these a lot of times on rear top links to keep them from drifting and you know, to keep them locked in place. And I don't have one on my top link, but eventually I'm going to probably put one of these on my top link. Be a different style than this. This one is going to work for this application, and so we're going to mount it up on the front of the tractor. So we're going to go ahead and get started by putting these in first, and basically they just screw right in. This one screws in this side. And of course we're gonna put a wrench on there and tighten it down. Okay, and then these go on this end. And all of this stuff right here I got from the same place, and I'm going to put a link in the description to the place where I got all this from. So we're just going to tighten that, tighten this, then we'll tighten this one, and tighten this one. It's pretty tight. And now we'll go ahead and take this over to the front of the tractor and hook up the 2 hydraulic lines to this on the front of the tractor. So right here on the front of the tractor, we've got a hose ran down here, and supposedly this is supposed to screw into here. We're about to find out. And this one is supposed to screw in here. And we're going to get a wrench and cinch that down. And then what I'm thinking is we're going to bore 2 holes in this plate right here that covers these, and put 2 studs up through there that this can be mounted to. And we may have to jack it up a little bit off of there so that this doesn't vibrate on there and interfere and whatnot. We're going to get the wrench first, and we'll tighten this stuff up right here. We've already got all this tight, and we've got these tight, but we need to tighten up this connection here and here. We'll get over there and get the wrench, and we'll tighten it up. Okay, so that feels tight. And that feels tight. So the next thing we're going to do is get a transfer punch, and we're going to transfer these 2 holes into this plate, drill this out, and we've got some 10mm bolts that we're going to stick up through that plate, lock it down, and raise this up just a little bit, and that should give us enough clearance to do what we need to do, I hope. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and transfer these holes and pull this plate off, and hopefully get this thing screwed down where it's going to go and be at permanently. I don't want the head of this bolt to hit that hard line in there and vibrate against that line and cause a leak. So I'm kind of trying to fudge this thing around the best that I can. Something like that. I think that'll probably work. Something like that. So let me go get the transfer punch, and we'll transfer a hole and drill. That's probably close enough right there. So we're gonna be something like that. Okay, we did get a little dimple in there, so we'll get the drill and a drill bit and drill that thing out. Okay, so we got a hole drilled right here, and we're going to pull this cover off. First time I've ever had this cover off. Makes you see what's under there. Pretty dirty. Right dirty under there. Looks like we got enough room to do what I want to do. And we're gonna take one of these bolts like that. This is a 10 millimeter 1.25 by 50 millimeters long. And we're gonna get a nut. And let's see, does it fit that? No, it doesn't fit that. So we may have to get us a wrench over here. So we got a nut for it. And we got a little bit of a burr on this thing we need to get rid of. I think I got it. We're going to run this down. We're going to run this bolt down, nut down on this bolt. And get the put 2 wrenches on this thing and crank it down. And now we'll, and then this is going to go down in there like that. And then we're going to mark another hole in here. You know, that bolt is almost not long enough. I think I'm gonna have to go get a longer bolt to go through there. I declare, it's always something, isn't it? Always something. Well, let me go ahead and get this other hole marked. So I'm going to rotate this thing a little bit this way. And then let's see what we got. Oh yeah, we got a mark. So we'll go ahead and drill this hole. We need to make sure that we're not going to hit that pipe, and it don't look like we're going to hit that pipe. It looks like we're down from that pipe enough. And 1, 2, 3, and then You know, that rascal still might not be long enough. Isn't that something? That rascal still might not be long enough. Especially if I try to put a lock washer on there. Actually, you know what? This thing's got a lock washer built into it. So I probably don't even need a lock washer. Yeah, what did I do with the other one? Well, there it is. Man, it's hell to bend over. Getting old sucks. It ain't for no young sissies, that's for sure. Alright, so let's... That's enough to make you want to get the impact wrench out. They got a bolt in here long enough to go to China. You know, I really think this looks pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look bad at all. And I don't think where it's at is going to interfere with anything. So that's good. And that fits up on there nice and tight. And that, so, you know, when the bucket's on there, this should keep all that mess from getting dirty. That one's tight. Probably should have put Loctite on all these, because when I took them off, they was a little loose. Oh, I hear thunder. All right, last one over here. We got to get tight. I'll probably get up the other side and tighten that up. But like I said, I don't think that looks bad. I think I got enough clearance under here now. I can pull this up, pull this out, plug a new one in. You know, plug a one in for whatever we got on the front of this thing. And yeah, I think that looks good. This is made out of aluminum. Some of the ones I looked at are made out of cast iron, and they didn't look like they had any kind of paint to mount anything on them, so they'd probably rust all the pieces in no time. But this right here is made out of aluminum, so you know, I don't have to worry about it rusting or anything like that. Yep, looking good. So we got these all cinched up now. And this is mounted nice and solid. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. The next thing we'll do is we'll turn the tractor on and check all this for leaks. You know, we'll hit the valve and send some fluid down this way, and you know, see if we get any kind of leaks or anything. And hopefully we won't have any leaks. And we'll be good to go. And that'll be the end, right, of this series. There it is. We got a third function valve on. We got our custom homemade third function switch up here on the loader valve. It's round, which is what I wanted. Looks good. And I got to tighten down that last bolt up there. I want to forget that. And then we can test this thing for leaks. But it's looking good. I'm pleased with it. I think it was worth doing, you know. And the next thing, we'll probably be getting the paperwork out and going through it and finding out exactly how much money was spent putting this system in, as opposed to buying one from W.R. Long or Land Pride or somewhere like that. And we'll see if we saved any money doing it this way. I certainly hope that we saved a lot of money doing it this way. But we're going to find out. We're going to run the numbers and find out.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.